Boom, we're back with the 117th edition of the Quarantinecast. I am joined by Kevin Croom. He just got signed to the UFC, had a remarkable debut. Without further ado, I'm really excited to have him on.
What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great, man. I really appreciate you coming on. I've been a fan for a while, and you made it. You're in the UFC. How does that feel?
Man, spectacular. Amazing. Obviously I don't want to, but I could die happily,
I'd like to start talking about the pandemic. I mean, obviously the theme of this is quarantine. I started it in quarantine, so have to start by asking the basic, how are you doing in quarantine? What's the pandemic like there? And what are the protocols going on there?
Yeah. So man, I guess I'm the wrong person to ask. My life has changed very little. Apparently my life is pretty much in quarantine. I go to the gym and I work outside. And if I'm not at the gym or working, I'm on my couch. That's all I do. So I don't really know. Obviously you got to wear masks everywhere. Honestly, that's the only difference in my life is I have to put on a mask to go to the grocery store. Only thing that's really any different.
I feel like a lot of fighters say the same thing. They're like, I pretty much stay at home, go to the gym, go back home. So
yeah. So I've been watching the same amount as Netflix for the last few years, to be honest. So that's not the best, but I'm really fucking good at fighting. So whatever.
I want to touch on because you did test positive, and obviously people say that symptoms tend to carry on later on. You may not notice it right away. As someone who tested positive for it, have you had any symptoms?
No, I have felt spectacular all year long. And actually, to be honest, I got really sick in January, and then other than that, I've fucking felt great all year long. I had no idea I had it. I felt great. Everybody around me, the people I live with and everything, no problems. So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm nothing to worry about for me.
What was it like when you got the news? Obviously it's this massive deal worldwide. People are freaking out, and then you test positive for it. Was there any bit of worry, or was it just, it is what it is?
I found out because I got signed. It was the day of my 13-year anniversary of my first fight, and I woke up at 5:45 a.m. Say I got signed. I'm fighting. Got on a plane, flew to Vegas. All my dreams have come true. Everything's amazing. Fucking chilling, top of the world. Go to sleep, top of the world. Wake up, and then 10 o'clock the next day, called me. Got tested. Tested positive. So then they gave me another test. So if that one came up negative, there's a possibility I would still fight, So there was 6 hours where my life was turmoil, And then once it was for sure I was positive, I got cut from the UFC, signed, cut within 24 hours, what I've wanted my whole life, followed by the thing I haven't wanted my whole life, just a roller coaster of emotion. And, so that's been the craziest thing, that COVID's done to me. That whole roller coaster ride. But, other than that, once I got back home, I, got a little bit of perspective, and the whole thing worked out really well for me. So whatever.
I think that sums up 2020, just a roller coaster of emotions. 1 minute you're on a high, the next minute you're getting slapped in the face with this news of you getting COVID, getting cut, and but
back to being on a high. So I know a lot of people have had really shitty years, but my year's been fucking the tits. So
so I want to get to that point. So obviously you got cut, you're supposed to fight, you got cut, and then you get a call last minute. We've got a fight for you. Can't tell you who it is. You have no idea who it is. You get there, you get to the arena. It's literally on 10 seconds notice. You accept the fight and you get it done in 31 seconds. So ridiculous, unbelievable. So kind of describe that emotion. And was there any hesitancy with everything that went on? everything that's been going on to not take that fight?
The thing that I was the most worried about is I just ate a bowl of pho. And if you know anything about cutting weight, eating a bunch of sodium before you sweat a lot isn't amazing. So I was worried about that. My manager called me, told me that I had to get on a flight and I had to leave like fucking now. I immediately called my coach. I mean, obviously I accepted, called my coach, and I'm like, hey man, like I'm fucking freaking out. I just ate this pho, like what? And he's like, hey man, don't worry, the fight's at 55. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. And that was the only like second of hesitation was fuck, like this cutting this weight will suck. Like I'll do it, no problem, but this is gonna be a shitty 24 hours. And then yeah, man, once I found out that it was at 55, I flew to Vegas, got to Vegas. We ate sushi that night, pigged out, fucking, and then won in 31 seconds, man. It's fucking spectacular, you know?
It's funny because this isn't the only circumstance. You know, in 2020, so many other guys have done it. Justin James is a great example, prime example. Yeah. And I thought he did a great job setting the blueprint of how to get it done. Do it early, right? Like you don't have a whole lot of time to train for cardio. You can't really watch any film. Go out there and get it done early. Was that the game plan? Just I have a certain amount of time to go out there and put him away. That's what you did.
Nah, man. To be honest, we thought it was going to be a brawl. Like I didn't know who I was fighting until I got to the airport, and like I found James, my coach, and I'm like, so who am I fighting? And he like laughs. He's like Roosevelt Roberts, and I mean I knew I'd seen him fight before, so I was like, all right. And he like just gave me a look, and he was like, "It's not gonna be your toughest fight." You know what I mean? Like insinuating like it's gonna be a scrap. And so like as soon as I saw the look in his eye, I just fucking like reserved. All right, we're going to war. Let's go. And fuck, man, I didn't have to.
What was it like getting your hand raised in the UFC? Did it feel any different than? I mean, you've had 30-something odd fights. Did it feel any different? And when did it really start to sink in that, you know what, I just got to win in the UFC?
Fuck this morning. I mean, every day. I mean, yeah, it felt amazing. It felt like everything I wanted it to be, everything I fucking waited for. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for 13 years. I've had a harder road than most because of my own dumbassness. Yeah, man, I mean, the fucking roller coaster ride of emotion that my career has been, and then to fucking be there and to do it like that. Yeah, I mean, it was fucking spectacular, man. I mean, it made it all worthwhile for sure.
You mentioned 13 years, and I think there is one fight in there that I think a lot of people will overlook or ignore, but I think it really is the turning point in a lot of people's career. You were on a high note. You had quite an extensive winning streak, and then you lost a split decision to Jesse Brock. I know you probably don't. A lot of people don't like talking about their losses, but I think this one's important because it really was a close fight, and it could have been the turning point. I mean, you won that fight. You were on quite a tear. You could have gotten a call then.
No, I had been in contact with them. They wanted me. The UFC wanted me to fight. I had been offered to fight like a few weeks before that fight, but I was contracted with MFC and I couldn't get out. And so they said, win that one and you're in. And I fucking lost a split decision. I'm sorry. Okay, but go ahead. What was your question?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of what is the biggest lesson from that fight, and I guess a message to anybody who experiences that same thing. You're that close, you lose.
Man, stay in the gym and don't fuck around. I allowed my life to go into a downward spiral for there. You know, like I like let one fucking downfall stumble me and fucking roll me down the hill. You know, and like that's not like the difference between regular people and champions is the time it takes them to get back on track. You know, and like in that experience, I sucked. I did a somersault down the hill for a couple years, you know, and like, yeah, man, stay in the gym, be around people who care about you. And if you need to switch things up, get people who care about you and people who know what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it really did pay off, and like you did mention, after that, you did go through a little bit of a slump. It really turned around, and it's good to see that it kind of came back full circle. During that time, was there any moment where you were like, "Oh my God, man, I'm 13 years into this. My dream is the UFC. I was that close. I lost it." Was there any time where you kind of doubted whether or not you'd ever make it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Like, I mean, a lot of soul searching, a lot of trying to figure out who Kevin Croom is as a person, and because I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I lost a few fights in a row. My confidence was low. Like, I didn't fucking know what to do. I had it, whatever it is, I had it, and then I lost it, and I was very aware that I lost it, and I didn't know what to do. And like, luckily, I got it again for sure. But like that's all I can kind of say about it is like there was something missing. I like fucking forgot something. I had it and then I lost it. It's like the only way I can describe it, you know? Yeah. I'm sorry. I kind of spaced the like, was that answering your question? Like,
yeah, that did answer it. And I kind of want to bring it full circle because 2020 for a lot of people was a roller coaster, and it was for you, as was your career. You got your win, you got the bonus, everything is exciting, and then you get news. It's not the greatest news, not anything that a lot of people want to hear or talk about. But that being said, man, what was it like getting that news? And how are you dealing with it?
Yeah, okay, so the news you are referring to is I popped on a test for THC, marijuana, smoking the reefer, littering and smoking the reefer. Yeah, so I took the fight on like 48 hours notice. Obviously, I got high the morning that I left. So I left on Wednesday. No, I left on Thursday. I flew out on Thursday. I had to make weight Friday, fought Saturday. So, I mean, I got high Thursday morning because, I mean, that's what I do. I like to smoke weed, and I work really hard, and that's my jam. And so, yeah, I didn't know. Got on the plane, told USADA, told the UFC, hey, obviously, I just smoked. I'm in no problem with them. The UFC and me are good. Didn't really think anything about it. The UFC called me, or the USADA called me like the week afterwards and just kind of discussed like my smoking habits and like what I don't know, kind of what I do. And then I don't know, a few weeks later, I got a call from Jeff Novinsky, and we like talked about the whole thing, and basically Nevada, the Nevada State Commission is a bunch of fucking dickbags, and marijuana is legal in Nevada, but you can't fucking smoke and fist fight, you know? And like they'll give me no breaks because I took the fight on a day's notice, you know? So then they turned the fight into a no contest. You know what I mean? Which that's a bunch of dicks, but whatever. Like I won't ever refer to it as a no contest other than talking about it right now. Like I fucking won that fight. Yep. Ask him how he feels. Ask him if he feels like it's a no contest. That motherfucker lost, and we all saw him lose.
Marijuana isn't a performance enhancing drug. You know, you're not going to smoke a joint and go in there and perform better because
especially when you like the last time you smoked was 2 days ago. Like you know what I mean? Like if it was a performance enhancing drug, which it's not, but like you would have to smoke it right beforehand, and I smoked it 2 days before. You know what I mean? Like so. Yeah, whatever. Man, I've been eating adversity like potato chips, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like whatever. I'm suspended at the moment. I can fight again next year. It's not a big deal. That's not like the biggest deal. It's actually kind of nice. Like for once, I can like just be off for Christmas, and I mean, I'm obviously still in the gym, but you know, like I mean, I'm not worried about like. The last few years I've been trying to take a fight short notice anytime, like, you know, so I've just been ready. Now I can kind of take a deep breath. I got fined $1,800. That sucks. You know what I mean? That's like what I made from my last fight outside of the UFC. You know what I mean? So
but you did get a performance bonus, so it doesn't.
For sure. like totally,
Yeah.
yeah. That's but still, I mean, fuck, man, like that sucks, whatever. Like, but the thing that I just found out, I just signed my next contract, and I looked at it and I don't get a pay bump because technically I didn't win. These fucking cocksuckers, man. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I get it. Like, it is what it is. That was an expensive joint I smoked. You know what I mean? But whatever. It doesn't really bug me. I mean, like, it bugs me when I think about it. Like, that's bullshit. But I don't really fucking care. Like, that fight changed my life. Gave me, like, validated me as a person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I believed I could do that my whole life. I believed that I could do that all these 13 years. You know what I mean? And then I did it. And like, so like now I'm like, I don't know. I just feel fucking great, and they can't take that away from me. So I don't fucking care. And I will get my first win twice and I'll bonus both fucking times. I don't care. Like, I just signed my contract. Can't discuss it or anything at the moment, but it's gonna be a good one, and I'm gonna bonus again. So like whatever, I'll get my first win twice.
I love it, man, and I think that's the mentality you have to have. I mean, like you think about all the other guys. I mean, the Diaz brothers did that their entire career, right? Elias Theodorou, like there's so many other guys that have done it. And it really is a silly rule. Every other sport has it legalized.
And most of the other commissions okay it. Like it's like Vegas when it's legal in Vegas. Like that's frustrating, but whatever. That's out of my control. And the only thing that's in my control is me fucking the next person up I fight, and that's the plan. Like, so.
I want to talk a little bit about working with guys like Grant Dawson and James Krause, because I mean, they're both monsters. Grant Dawson is an absolute beast, and James Krause, I mean, his legacy is cemented forever for the stuff he's been doing recently, just taking fights on 30 seconds notice up a weight class, very similar to what you did.
Man.
What's it like working with those two?
Spectacular. I highly suggest that if you want to be in this career, if you want fighting to be your career, you get somebody who is in a position that you want to be in, and you get behind them and you do exactly what the fuck they do. James is in a position that I'd like to be in. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of weight in the organization. He's been doing it for years. He's a fucking gangster all around, and I see him every day in the gym. And I can fucking mimic and do exactly what he does, and that has done leaps and bounds for me as far as my technique and just my perspective and everything in my life, as well as, fighting too. And then Grant Dawson is a fucking savage. And like, to be honest, like, my friendship with him has changed my life. Like our bond through this sport and like just fucking being ride or die for each other. Like it's just changed my life and made me a better person. And I fucking love the sport, man. Like, the camaraderie between your teammates and just there's nothing like it, man.
It really isn't. I mean, I've heard so many other stories and other gyms where guys are pretty much if you hurt him, you hurt me type thing, and it really is a family in a lot of these gyms. And I think that the key is finding that gym. There's a lot of people who feel like a number in a gym, and I think the key is finding a gym where you feel like you're part of the team. Yeah. And it looks like, especially with a guy like James Krause, it really is. If you're not in it to be part of the team, like a Buckley, who's been talking a lot of trash as well, don't come here.
Yeah, man. That's something like right about the time that all that bullshit that started all this between them happened. We were getting ready for my fight, and we were just kind of talking about the gym and everything. And James has created the best team environment I've ever seen or been a part of. I've been around a lot of gyms and I've seen a lot of things. And the environment, the atmosphere in our gym is one of a kind. And we were having this discussion, and we were talking about how that needs to be protected. You know, like we're getting to the point where like we just have enough people. Like it's that it needs to be protected. We can't be letting fuckers in, you know, and messing up our vibe, throwing off our energy, you know. And like right, I swear to God, like as soon as we had this conversation, like the next day he like hit him up and like got all fucking cocky and like oh, I'm trying to help y'all. It's like, well, why are you hitting us up then? You know, but yeah, man. So yeah, find people who care about you. Don't just be a number.
Yeah, I think that really is a message that a lot of up and coming fighters, especially, need to take into consideration, because they hear like, "Oh, big gym, I got to go there," and it's not about that. It really is.
And I mean, I did that. You know, like I went to Jackson's and I moved in, and not that there wasn't a lot of things that I learned there for sure. Like I mean, for sure, go around. Check places out, you know, but definitely like find a home where people care about you, you know, like coach and athlete relationship is so close. It's like my brother, my father, you know what I mean? Like it's like it's a weird thing. So like get somebody who has good intentions for your life. You know what I mean? Like I know without a doubt, James will fucking do anything for me. 100%. I can call him right now and he'll help me out with anything. Just like I would do for him, you know, like, and yeah, man, find that.
I want to talk about last question. There was a huge fight this past weekend. Davis and Figueroa had a massive win. So did Brandon Moreno. I don't know if you watched both of those fights, but they're turning it around quickly, doing something that you do, fight on short notice. They've got a little more than 24 hours notice. But what's your prediction for that fight?
Man, I think Figueroa's he's the man. He's the man at the moment, you know. I guess we'll see, but yeah, he's the man at the moment. It looks like he's a savage.
Scary, man. It's a scary dude. Yeah. But man, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out? Any sponsors before I let you go?
I'd like to thank HKA USA, man. They got really good fight gear. They've been helping me out for sure. Brian Imes, Hillbilly Fightwear, Lisa Gore, obviously James Krause, Grant Dawson, Glory MMA, man. I love them to death. Heck yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for the time. I've been a fan for a while, and I'm glad you're finally in the UFC. And man, can't wait to see this next one.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me. It's good talking to you.
All right, man. All the best.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
There we go. Kevin Croom. I've been a fan of his for a while, as you heard. Man, he's had a roller coaster of a career and a roller coaster for 2020. But expect great things from him. And if you haven't yet, make sure you donate to prostate cancer awareness. And be sure to, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.